Hey, you! Are you an individual profoundly entrenched in despondency and moral degradation, having recently concluded viewing Amazon's Fallout series, concurrently indulging in Bethesda games embellished with adult-themed modifications, thus succumbing to a proclivity to explicit content? It's time to go outside, you little dirtball. Yes, that's real. That is 100% real. And I apologize you had to see that. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now, this isn't new to see absurd things on Twitter, and it's not new for people to say absurd things and do absurd things on the internet. But games character AI might have taken it a bit too far. And the only reason this really came up and got so popular was because of the Fallout show. If you've played a Bethesda game before or have interacted with the many, we'll say, cultured individuals who play Bethesda games religiously and modify the game, I would say also religiously, you would know that not all of them, or the majority of them, we'll say that, are, might need to bathe. Might need to bathe a little bit. Might have some problems. Now, if you want to see me just kind of like snap and go off on the weirdos who exist on Twitter, go ahead and skip to 3 minutes when I'm allowed to start saying bad words because YouTube doesn't like it. But in the meantime, I'll sit here and explain to you my little backstory with the Fallout show. Now, I actually recently got the chance to watch the Fallout show, and I was very fortunate to be able to binge watch it because I was very busy with a lot of things, and I still have a lot going on, but I'm slowly starting getting my schedule really on track. I have a lot of free time now as opposed to before, so I'm really trying to, enjoy myself, enjoy my life. So I watched the Fallout show, and there's a couple of things that I could see that they couldn't fit in the budget, or they could have done that a little better. I liked the concept they were going for, but it didn't really stick with me. But overall, it's a pretty good show. The writing is solid. The cast, great actors. There wasn't anything where I was like, that's kind of weird. It's kind of off. I don't really believe it. It's all very believable stuff, in my opinion, at the very least. There are some people who would disagree, and after I get through with the interesting characters, I'll go into more detail on a man named Synthetic Man on YouTube who had a very, very interesting take. If you want to see that, skip a little bit ahead too. I'll put a timestamp below as well. So slowly rolling into the weirdos, the creeps, the freaks, the social rejects, outcasts, what have you. We're gonna get into that. So there's, on Twitter you're used to seeing people drawing characters that probably shouldn't be drawn in a provocative manner, or characters who are blatantly underage and everyone's like, hey dude, that's a kid. Let's report this guy to the FBI. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of this guy, get rid of that one. This person's that's interesting to see. That kind of stuff. And we see things with like animated or fictional characters. Getting into that image, like I said earlier about how weird it was, I think it's turned up to 11 when you take into consideration that that's a real fucking human being, you pornography addict. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not like your Fallout mods, right? There's jokes about, oh, my Fallout mods. And God, watching the show with mods enabled is so much better. You're quite literally sexualizing and photoshopping in sexual manners a real human being. It's significantly weirder. It was weird as a baseline to the fact that you're taking fictional women and going, that's big titty, yes. Or whatever the hell you're fucking smoking off that pipe. But from what I've seen, at the very least, there's people who are actually contributing to this and posting bare ass and bare tit like on Twitter. Most of it's getting taken down because for obvious reasons. But I've seen a couple where I was like, dude, that's a real person you're photoshopping. I'm pretty sure that's like super fucking illegal. You can't just do that. You can't. That's like a form of deep faking, right? Like, I feel like it falls under that umbrella. Maybe I don't understand the law quite enough to talk about this subject enough. But you can't tell me that it's not fucking weird that you're taking a real actor. And I've seen someone. I don't even know how I even came across this person, but I was going to the depths of the shithole of Twitter, and I found someone trying to defend it and be like, well, maybe she should have just not done the show. She knows the community. No, you fucking freak. What do you mean she shouldn't have done it because she knows the community? Just because you're a fucking weirdo doesn't mean she shouldn't get paid and get the fucking bag to do a show on a game that people enjoy. The fuck are you smoking? A real human being you're sexualizing, that you're making these fucking weird ass pictures of and then posting it, right? It's similar to the Taylor Swift incident, if you remember that. And it's causing that discourse again with, should we have AI? Is AI too dangerous? Should AI even have the capability of cycling images through it to generate something new? And if you noticed, I used a AI generated image of, I just typed in Redditor, and that's what came up. AI generated Redditor, but it wasn't something that I had generated. It was, it was there. And I feel like AI can be used for good things, and there's a lot of illegal cases that it can be used for, and I'm not fucking proud to see it. I'm pretty upset to see it. As someone who works and actively wants to contribute to the programming and IT world, this shit is disheartening to see. This shit fucking sucks fuck. It's fucking weird. I'm not gonna sugarcoat how I feel. I feel some of these individuals might need to be locked in a psychiatric ward. And this leads me into my next discourse that I don't know how I feel about it other than exactly what I just said. I stand on it 100% wholeheartedly. That people were arguing about, well, it's just the same trend that we're seeing, that women in video games and movies just aren't attractive anymore. And after digging deeper, I'm finding, like I said, from that Twitter account that posted that Fallout image, all they do is AI generate and post art of, and not safe for work content, of characters in very suggestive manners, suggestive clothing, suggestive scenarios, whatever it is, they have it. Doesn't matter who it is. And I find it absurd. I mean, I guess I probably should be surprised because it's a bunch of Redditors and a bunch of Twitter users that they just see this stuff as so normal to have whatever, like they see a character and they're like, that's not attractive enough. I have a problem with that. And it's rolled into this thing where people are complaining about how video games have gone woke and there's not enough attractive looking women. And there could be a case for how video games are being over politicized, and we just had the whole thing with Sweet Baby Inc. I made a Sweet Baby Inc. video. If you want to go check that out, I highly recommend it. Subscribe, stick around, by the way, I got more videos coming up. Sorry for the self-plug really fast there, but you're getting the point. There are cases where things could be over woke, but you're literally just taking all these video game characters and like, well, they're not attractive enough. We have to give them big boob, big butt. Yeah, that, ooh, ooga booga type of shit. Like, what the fuck? Oh no, the video game character I'm looking at isn't hot enough. You see how bad that and dumb and stupid that fucking sounds? You see how dumb you sound and how stupid you sound? It's the woke left making my video game characters look ugly, and I need hot video game characters to look at. That is exactly what these people sound like. I'm not exaggerating that either. You could find actual tweets that would say that word for word. I bet money on it. I bet my left on it right now. I'm betting it all in black right now. You could put my name to it right now. Going into the other aspects of the interesting people, I mentioned the synthetic man. Now, I'll link the video below, and I don't want you to have any hatred towards it. I want you to actually see the video, because there are some valid complaints, and I would say they're later in the video. They're talking about the timeline of the Fallout show and how it doesn't match up chronologically with the games, and I feel like there is some valid complaints there. I don't know if I care that much about it, though. Me personally, maybe I'm not the biggest Fallout fan, but I'm also, I find it kind of rubs me the wrong way when changes are made. So I get where he's coming from, but the opening 10 minutes is what doesn't really sit right with me. So this clip I'll show you here, and I've also seen this sentiment shared all across Reddit, which is insane to me that we're pulling this out of our ass right now. And I apologize for getting a little uppity about that, but this is the most reaching I've ever seen, because one of the complaints here, and I'm just going to pick one, I'm just going to show you one. I advise you to watch the rest of the video yourself if you really care that much, but this is something that just doesn't make any sense to me. That he complains about the white man in the relationship of a black woman and a white man, right? We'll just call him the guy, right? So the guy is with his daughter at this birthday party, and it's revealed that he's divorced from his wife, who is, black. It's not a big deal, right? And he took issue with this because of, surprise, insert marital statistics based off of race.
Now he just does birthday parties for alimony payments. And I find this even more funny because his kid is mixed race. So his black wife divorced him, and now he plays fucking birthday parties. How black-pilling is that? And at the risk of getting a shit ton of dislikes from normies, just like my review of the first episode of The Last of Us, I find this even more funny because if you know anything about marriage statistics, you would know that white male, black female actually has the lowest divorce rates.
I hate to break it to you, brother, but real life statistics, guys, it's just funny because the real life statistics, that doesn't apply to a fictional universe set in a retro future kind of society where everyone just suddenly blows the fuck up, right? It doesn't translate, right? God forbid these people just pick actors and they write a story, because if you know anything about this show, not once do they bring up sex, do they bring up race, do they bring up orientation. Not once do they bring that up and make that a character trait of anyone. And there's quite a bit of complaining in here about how there's there was a pregnant woman. It's not like the pregnant woman who shot at the other raiders. She just gripped a dude up and then fucking mollywopped him and threw him over a goddamn picnic table, right? She wasn't doing parkour or nothing crazy. She's pregnant. The only scene that she really gets is getting stabbed in the eye, which I felt was a bit extreme, but it was gory. It was a gory detail that I felt like it was like, oh, that's cool. And then the other woman getting stabbed, and then the other guy's getting murdered, and a bunch of other people getting murdered. And so what, right? There are a bunch of people living in a vault who are so unbelievably naive that they even at one point have to acknowledge that, God, we are some fucking dum-dums. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a show. You're just supposed to have fun with it. I feel like we're over-analyzing and trying to over-politicize everything to the point where if we're crying wolf at this point, and if we keep crying wolf, whenever there is an obvious insert to, a political agenda, or we're, swapping a character, well, we don't need to be swapping them whatsoever, and it's ruining the story because the story is now focusing on this character's new identity. The argument against it now loses total validity because of people just spewing shit and pointing shit out at random because they have consumed this amount of data and they've come to the conclusion that even when something borders this, they see it as an issue. And the fact that there was so much hyperfixation on race in the beginning, it really concerned me of where the headspace of this individual really was when watching this show, because it looked like they were just really ready to hate it. And I understand where they're coming from in terms of continuity and there were timeline issues, which I could totally get, but that's something entirely different from bringing up politics. He did kind of lump it into one big video of all of his complaints, but still, like, dude, chill the fuck out. I think you might need to analyze this a little bit more, as you did analyzing the timeline of fucking Fallout. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you for watching all the way through. If you did get to this point, I highly recommend you subscribe, stick around, like if you like it, dislike it. And if you have any other comments, feel free to let me know. I want this to be like an open place of discussion of how you feel on both topics, with the weird AI shit and the weird fucking AI people, and how the Fallout show went, and how people are reacting to it. It's really, I mean, it's up to anyone to express how they feel about it, and I really want this to be like a safe space for everyone to get something out. I couldn't really say safe space because the YouTube comment section is abhorrently toxic, and that's still pretty funny, so if you guys want to do that too, that's cool. Go ahead and do that. Anyway, that's been me talking about the aftermath of the Fallout show dropping, because that seems to be when all of this kind of rolled out. And see ya.